Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into the AI news from June 4th. It felt like a bit of a quiet day on the surface maybe, but when you look closer, there were some really fascinating nuggets. And, well, a bit of unexpected drama too. We're here to pull out the most important bits for you. Let's jump in.
Yeah, definitely one of those days where the headlines maybe didn't capture everything. Some significant details in the research and the product stuff.
Okay, so let's start with that research. Something from Meta caught my eye, looking at, well, something pretty fundamental.
Mm.
How much do these language models actually memorize?
Right, this was interesting. They actually tried to quantify it. The main finding suggests these GPT-style models memorize about 3.6 bits for every parameter they have.
3.6 bits per parameter.
Yeah, and apparently this scales up linearly as the models get bigger.
So they've basically put a number on how much specific stuff the model remembers from training, like individual data points.
Exactly. And the paper sort of argues that models mostly memorize up to that capacity limit. Once your training data gets bigger than that threshold, the model has to start generalizing more, finding patterns instead of just, storing verbatim examples.
Huh. So that limit forces generalization.
Yeah.
They connect that to other training things too, right? Like grokking.
They do, yeah. They link it to phenomena like double descent during training. It's all tied together, the capacity, how it learns, when it shifts from memorizing to generalizing.
Okay, that's pretty fundamental.
Yeah.
What does this mean, like, practically? For things like privacy, maybe?
Well, one really practical point was about cleaning up your data. They found if you really thoroughly deduplicate the training data before you train, the models become quite a bit more resistant to having specific training snippets extracted later.
Ah, so that capacity limit links directly to how much they can memorize verbatim.
Mm.
Better data hygiene makes a difference.
Precisely. Less repetition means less chance it gets hard-coded, essentially.
Makes sense. Okay, shifting gears from research. Bing! They seem to be getting into video creation now.
They are. Bing Video Creator is out globally, and it's apparently powered by OpenAI's Sora tech. So you can type in prompts and get video right in Bing.
Sora powered. Sounds good. But how's it actually working out for people trying it?
Well, the initial feedback is mixed. It seems okay for simple stuff,
Yep.
generating basic slow motion GIFs, things like that. But a lot of users are saying the safety filters are really, really strict right now. Lots of blocked requests.
Yeah, that seems to be a common issue with these generative tools. Overly cautious filters.
Definitely impacts usability. And it's worth noting, even with this Bing thing, there's still no, standalone Sora app or anything inside ChatGPT itself.
Right. Still waiting on that. And speaking of OpenAI, they had some updates too, didn't they?
They did. They're rolling out Codex features to Plus users.
The coding assistant stuff.
Yeah, including internet access, though it's off by default. They give you warnings, controls over which sites it can hit. You can even, drive it with your voice, apparently, or use it for pull requests.
Internet access for coding. Feels like a pretty big jump. Complex, maybe.
Potentially, yeah. And they also pushed out memory improvements to the free users this time.
Oh, good. What does that mean?
It means the model can remember more from your recent chat history. So better context, hopefully more relevant replies as the conversation goes on.
Always good to see improvements hitting the free tier. Okay, let's pivot to open source. Google did something there.
Yeah, Google open sourced their deep search stack. It's basically a demo stack for building AI agents, uses their Gemini models and LangGraph.
So kind of like a starter kit for agent builders.
Exactly. It's not their production stack from the Gemini app, but it gives you the pieces, back end, front end, all containerized with Docker, shows you how to set up workflows for these LLM apps.
Okay, so designed to speed up agent development, mainly using their tools.
Pretty much. They say the goal is faster development. You might be able to adapt bits for other models, but the search part is pretty deeply integrated. You'd likely need to build your own alternative if you wanted to swap that out.
Gotcha. A specific toolkit may be best if you're already in the Google ecosystem. Now, the community was also talking about something really practical, just figuring out which model to use for what. Any advice popping up?
Yeah, some useful heuristics based on what people are finding works for them. Like for ChatGPT, the advice floating around was use O3 for the really tough problems. 4 is kind of the solid everyday choice.
Okay.
O4 Mini seems good for search and analysis tasks specifically, and 4.1 for coding.
That's pretty specific.
Yeah.
What about outside OpenAI?
People mentioned Gemini 2.5 Pro and Claude 4 as strong alternatives. Also good daily drivers, especially for coding or brainstorming. It really boils down to the specific task, and just personal preference.
That kind of real-world guidance is so helpful with all these options.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned drama earlier. I'm guessing this ties into Anthropic.
Unfortunately, yes. This was uh, pretty significant. Anthropic basically cut off almost all the capacity for their Claude 3.x models very suddenly.
Whoa, really? How much notice did people get?
Less than 5 days, apparently. Just
Yeah.
abrupt.
Wow, that must have caused some chaos.
Yeah, widespread problems for anyone relying on those specific models, for their apps, their workflows. It really shakes things up when a provider does something like that so fast with little warning. Makes you think about reliability.
Absolutely. That definitely underlines the point about knowing alternatives, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you were leaning heavily on Claude 3, models like Gemini or GPT-4 weren't affected, so having options matters.
It really does. Shows the volatility still present in this space. Operational challenges are real.
Right. So it's clear things are moving fast, from understanding how models actually store information at a basic level to uh, surprise product launches and these sudden service disruptions. We've seen research putting numbers on memorization, new tools like Bing Video and Codex coming online, Google giving out agent toolkits, and users sharing tips on what works best day to day.
It's definitely a mix. Exciting progress, but also, yeah, real-world instability sometimes.
So here's something to think about. With everything developing so quickly and seeing unexpected changes like the Anthropic situation, how does knowing the fundamentals, like how models memorize or even knowing which specific model is best today, how does that help you navigate this kind of unstable but definitely exciting space? What steps can you actually take to build more resilience, maybe more predictability into how you use these AI tools?